Well, they bought it from her because she educated them. So one of the things everybody can be doing right now is educating people. You know,
I think it also drives home the point of the, almost like the law of attraction, right?
Yes.
It's almost like what you focus on expands, right?
Yes.
In very simple terms, right? And every example that you're giving, these are leaders and entrepreneurs. Lisa Nichols, actually one of the most, she was on the podcast, most downloaded, top 3 or 5, I think, most downloaded episodes on the show.
Right.
But it's amazing because you're talking about what they're focusing on too,
Yes.
right? They're focusing
Yes.
on the opportunity. They're focusing on, hey, what are the offers we have, right?
Right.
That we could serve people. How can we serve people,
Yeah.
right? And these are just such better questions than to get lost and being reactive to the news or Twitter or what have you.
Well, I think, this kind of a crisis actually determines what kind of leader you are. We always talk about service leadership, and if you're coming from service, you're always asking the question, how can I serve more people more fully? And Deepak Chopra taught me that question years ago. He said, every morning I wake up and I simply ask God to show me how to serve more people more fully. If you serve more people every day and you serve them more fully every day, you're going to be very, very successful. Someone said, if you focus on money, you'll have money to count. But if you focus on, how did it go? If you focus on serving people, you'll have countless money, something like that. But the idea being that if you were coming from service before, you're going to be simply asking yourself, how can I serve more? If you've been coming from how can I make money, you're only going to be coming from how can I make more money? I saw yesterday there's an auction in Texas where they're selling face masks online and charging $170 for 16 face masks. That's over $10 a face mask when face masks cost 14 cents normally in the open market. So people that are only going, oh, well, how can I take advantage of this? I think it's a little bit disgusting from my point of view. I'm not going to judge it beyond that, but the point being that we need to move these things around to the people who need them and not be thinking about how can I make a fortune. There's going to be ways to make money. There are going to be distressed properties that are available, distressed stocks that are available if you really want to go there. But generally, it's really about how can I serve more.
Yeah. It's, I'd love to share something with you, which is, I run a podcast agency. I know we chatted just a little bit off record. And one of the first things we did when this was about 10 days, it seems like it was just yesterday, but really it's been so much. We reached out to every active podcast or person that we've engaged with or worked with or a student of ours and said, hey, look, we have a whole production team ready to go. And we discussed it with everybody. But we would love for you as a thought leader, as somebody that has a bit of an audience, have a platform to create a message right now for, let's say you're in real estate, right? Don't necessarily, you can address the pandemic, but talk about, how does it relate with realtors or investors or mortgages, right? How can, and the frame of mind my team and I became, because truth be told, we just haven't gone through. We just have not gone through an entire crisis yet. We've read about them, right? I consciously understand, I understand it, right? But when it did hit, so many of, I was fortunate to be around some great coaches and mentors of having that underlying value of, hey, how can we serve and take our superpower, right? And being able to help, our thought leaders produce great content for their communities right now, because leadership it's almost needed at a time like this.
Totally.
Right? It's being called forth, right?
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're doing the right thing. And, your real estate mention just reminded me of a story. I was talking to some realtors a few days ago, and there was this one woman up in the Silicon Valley area who was trying to figure out, how do I get into this market and become a successful realtor? And so what she did is she offered free classes on Saturdays for women who were single or divorced or single moms on how to buy your first home. And so she was educating them on how you go about that. How do you get a mortgage? How much do you have to have? How do you approach the banks? Blah, blah, blah. And within the next 3 years, almost every one of those classes bought a house. And guess who they bought it from? Well, they bought it from her because she educated them. So one of the things everybody can be doing right now is educating people. I know some hairstylists who are running classes online now about how to cut your kids' hair, how to cut your husband's hair, how to cut your daughter's hair. And so again, they're keeping their client base engaged. They're giving them service. So when this is all over, that's where they're going to go back to, because they've built a creative, positive bonding with those people. And so there's a lot we can do if we just ask ourselves again the question, how can I be of service?